Hello my gorgeous makeup loving friends, how's it going? Welcome back to my channel, or if you're new here, hi, my name is Teresa. Today I am looking at the Phoenix collection from Arttitude Cosmetics. Now, full transparency, this was gifted to me by Ruks, who is the owner of Arttitude Cosmetics, and she very kindly gifted me the Phoenix palette, which looks a little something like this. Oh, the plastic is gone. The lipstick and the brush set. So this video is a rate it or slate it, where I am swatching, doing a tutorial and talking about the products. So what do I think of them? Do I think they're good or not? And I created this look. So if that sounds like something you are interested in, then do please keep on watching. So a big thank you to Ruks, or Ruks, don't know how to pronounce her name, that's very bad because we've been messaging, but she sent me on the full Phoenix from the Ashes collection. So I will show you guys what that entails. There's a whole set of brushes which I will be using, and a gorgeous red lipstick. I mean, it's like, you know me, that's my kind of jam. But obviously, I don't know what you guys think, but for me, a collection, the core of it is always the eyeshadow palette. So this is what it looks like. Now, there's been a whole back and forth with this because actually Ruks sent this on to me before it arrived damaged. So first time, and then I repressed it, gave it to Tia. This is what it looks like. Yeah. And then she sent it again, it got lost. And then this is the third time, so it seems a third time is the charm. So let's get to swatcherooning. Okay, so very first one, we have Ashes, Stronger, Smoke, Empower, and Descent. The descent into madness, one could only assume, if it's associated with me. It's quite an interesting palette because it's simultaneously, there's some like bright notes, but then there's like some darks, which I think is very smart given the theme. We then have Spark, that's quite orangey. Burn, which makes me think of Hamilton. Rise, Unbreakable, and Broken, like the first palette. And also like me as a human being in general, I'm quite broken. Yeah. Anyways, this is almost half of it now, so we're on to the third row. There are some multi-chromes in here, and just after swatching into one of them, it's called Phoenix, and I think I need to just show you guys this. So it looks purple, but there's like a green, it's a purple to green. So it's exciting. We have Flames. That is good. Fire. Phoenix. Oh, that is good. It is a green tint because I can see it here as green. It's really funny that it's not showing up on the camera, but you can just, you know. Growth and Invincible. Now there is a black in this palette. If anyone knows me, you know that I am very much the advocator of there must be a black in every planet. So this pleases me. You know, oh, this is quite a nice mustardy yellow. Oh, there we go. Okay, so we have Wings, Changes, Reborn. That's quite nice, isn't it? Eternal, and Fallen, and it's the black. Not a bad black. Not a bad black at all. Just saying. Okay. I mean, it's swatching well. A lot better than the last palette I was playing with, I can tell you that. Ugh. Let us not speak of the P. Louise fiasco. Very last row. Okay, we have Elevate, which is basically the shade of my skin. Glory, which makes me think of Buffy. So there you go. Dreams. She pigmented. Hope. Where I'll put you. There. That's nice. And Healing. Boop. Yeah. So that's the whole palette. It's very warm toned, but there's a bit of darkness in there to give it a bit of depth. I think I'm going to enjoy playing with this. And there's a red lipstick. Much excitement. Do you want to know how I got this scar? I mean, me too. I just woke up with it, so I don't know what's happened. I assume CC. Murder? Who knows? Anyways, look, it's nice to just play with a palette that I haven't had an issue with. Hooray! Sorry. Plot twist. It is nice though, because it was gifted to me, and you don't want to find a gift not good. That's how we say it. Anyways, I just want to do something fairly simple, and it feels like this is coming at a good time. It's the Phoenix palette. So I'm going to chat through with you on this while I do this. So I have a Cash Beauty brush. It's really nice. And I'm going into this fabulous mustardy shade called Reborn. Is really nice. It's very pigmented. So I went on with a blending brush because I've played with this a few times now and I wanted to kind of just get to grips with it. So this is called the Phoenix palette, and this is so appropriate for a number of reasons. I'm going to start first with Ruks, who owns Arttitude Cosmetics. Now, she's made a big leap actually. This week she said, she announced on her socials about that she is leaving her job as essentially a scientist and that she's going full-time in with the business. So like the whole thing of like a phoenix rising from the ashes seems so appropriate. So I'm like, hells yes, Ruks, you go get it. Ruks is very, very sweet. I've chatted to her a couple of times on Instagram. Let's be very like transparent about that. I have used Arttitude before. I used their Colour Splash palette a couple of times. I haven't done a video on it. I just, I got gifted it by my lovely friend Cheryl, aka Nemesis, and it's a palette I really do quite enjoy. But you can see this is really nice and pigmented, and even though I'm using like a blendy brush, you can really see it's still packing that on without any major issue. Now, I quite enjoy that. Hey, I like it when I'm not having to work massively hard on that. But yeah, like, that's such a big leap. Like, the thing is, when you're looking at indie brands, you're talking about people who are trying to realize their dreams. A lot of the time, people who are running these businesses, they are running their businesses, but they're also working a job at the same time. And Ruks was doing that for a really long time. And it's only now that she's kind of leaping in completely and going headfirst into business, which I'm like, oh man, that takes so much guts. I think her like products are quality, like, and it's not just me that thinks that. So, you know, well done her. And I do hope it is that whole phoenix rising from the ashes for her, that this is just the beginning of a whole new chapter, that something really fabulous and, you know, just generally wonderful happens. Now, part of why I was saying like this is really fitting is this is about me. Now, I'm using one of her brushes actually that comes from Arttitude Cosmetics because I have been using them, and I am going into the shade Spark. Again, this is super pigmented, so I want to do this lightly. So I mean tapping into it, because otherwise you're going to get a lot of colour, and I don't want that. Like, I want it to be a gentle blend. You know, I want something gentle in my life. Anyways, yes, so back to me, friends, back to me. So if you have been watching my channel for a while, you will know I have had, well, a year of it. Who hasn't? Let's be real. Like, I don't think there's anyone really going around being like, I've had the most wonderful couple of years. Pandemic has been wonderful and everything has been fabulous. But particularly in the summer, I had a really bad time. There was stuff going on at my job at the time, and it was incredibly stressful, and all of that was going on. And then my dad got really sick. My dad is 71 years old, and he contracted septicemia, which, if you don't know much about it, frankly it's a deadly infection, right? That alone can kill somebody. And based upon the fact that he was 70 and, you know, whatever, we were like, oh crap. So like, they were kind of saying he was quite close to, yeah. And to add to all of that, you can see how pigmented this is. I really don't have to put much on, and I don't want to, because I want it to fade out. But in addition to having septicemia, he also got staphylococcal infection, which again, that's a really very serious infection. Again, a 71-year-old man, so they were kind of going, okay, he has septicemia and he has staphylococcal infection. And it was taking them ages. They had him on like these antibiotics, and I mean, they were fantastic. They were trying to locate where the infection was, like where it was stemming from, and eventually they found it was in his hip. So no idea how it started there. Anyways, what they had to do then was operate and like drain the hip, which is, who wanted to hear that phrase in a video? Hey! But obviously that was really intense. So he just had major surgery. He'd had 2 things that could have potentially killed him, and then ended up with bloody COVID on top of it. Now, thankfully, my father was vaccinated, double vaccinated at that point, so it did mean that when he contracted it, it wasn't as bad. Now, we've the Suva Beauty 410 brush, and what I'm doing now is going into the shades Fire and Invincible, which is what my dad is. Invincible. So all of this was happening, and we were also having a heat wave, and eventually they were like, okay, so he's got COVID and he's just recovering from like a major surgery. I think you should take him home now. And we were like, sorry, what? But why do you think this is a good idea? And like I said, it was during a major heat wave. So we were trying to like quarantine him in a room and like also quarantine ourselves. So we were wandering around in masks, myself and my 67-year-old mother, wandering around the house. Anyways, it was grand. He was fine. We were all fine, but it was so incredibly stressful. And while all of that was happening, I was dealing with like some, and I mean trauma at work. Like it was a whole thing. Using that Arttitude brush again, and I'm going back into Spark. Yeah, sorry, I have to like squint and look down because I can't see. But I'm just blending it out here. So I had all of that going on, the whole work thing. Then Sahil, I was gonna call him my partner, my fiance. He wasn't my fiance at the time, but his dad and his younger brother contracted COVID as well. So we were, of course, like really like anxious about that, and it was really upsetting because obviously my partner hasn't been back home in a really long time. He's from India, and like he's just been stuck over here for a period of time, and he hadn't been able to see his family. So taking the Cat Beauty brush again, and I'm going back into that yellow and just kind of going out here again. So we had all of that going on, which, you know, fun times. And work, everything was sucking. I was going back into work and situations weren't improving. My father at least had gotten better. Sahil's father got better. And anyways, SH1T hit the fan at work, and I had to essentially leave. I quit. It was a whole thing. I'm now taking this Morphe M562. And what I'm going to do, believe it or not, is go into the shade Descent, because we're descending into the madness, because, you know, why not? But anyways, I had all of that going on, and I eventually, like I said, I quit, and I had to try getting a new job. I got a new job. That was a bit of a whatever in and of itself. And eventually landed into lecturing again, which is, in case you didn't know, my dream job. I love lecturing, and I was so upset when I had to quit my previous job because I thought, oh, that's it, I'll never lecture again. And it does feel very much like I am a little bit of a phoenix rising from the ashes in a way. Like I went through a horrible storm, which is quite funny because we're going through a storm right now. In case you hear noise in the background, it is a storm. But I had to weather through all of that, and it does feel like I'm finally coming out the other side a little bit. So it is just nice to feel like I'm getting somewhere with everything. I'm taking the M562 and I'm going into the 2 reds, the Invincible and something else. I'm just kind of blendy, smooshy all the way back in it like that. But yeah, it just feels like this was a palette that kind of spoke to me on that sort of metaphorical level. Not that I'm very good with metaphors, but every so often, you know, I can kind of understand what's going on there. So I'm just blending this out, and I'm gonna take the Cash brush again and go back into the yellow and pop that out quite a bit because, you know, why not? But you can see it all blends quite nicely I don't have any issue with that, so that's been quite a positive. Then taking the Arttitude brush again and going back into Flash and lay that on top very gently, because look, you can see there's quite a bit of pigment on it and you really don't want to have it go down too much. So just swishing it back and forth. So yes, I know I'm not the first one to do a video on this, but you know what? It speaks to me right now. This fits the stage of life that I'm at, and you know, I can see that Ruks is on her own journey with all of this, and I hope she is a phoenix as well, that all of this like goes, I mean, disgustingly well for her. I hope like just everything goes like grossly to plan, you know. I'm taking this collection as like, what is it called? It's like Glam Crystals in Funk 3. What I'm doing is just taking it onto a brush. Look, I promise there is like a reason or method behind my madness. Now, this is going to scrape away a big chunk of this, but what I'm doing is putting it like this, because you see I have that nice kind of detail there. So just putting it like this. I promise there is a reason for this. So just popping it like that, all the way up towards the brow bone. Like I said, it's shifting the balance of all of the eyeshadows, but don't worry, because you see I can pop it back on. It's not a big deal. Not a big deal at all. So we're getting the Cash Beauty brush again. Hard to identify them. I'm going back into the yellow. Just popping that up, see? Nice bit of pigment. Pop it there and then back and forth. Because I just thought, right, this little bit of glitter, it's going to make it look a little bit prettier. See, if you look at it from different angles, it just kind of gives it a little bit of a wabam moment. And I don't know about you, but I love a little bit of a wabam moment, you know? I'm here for that sort of thing. And again, we're just layering it again, going back in with Flash on top of that. You can see it blends really nicely. And then taking the Suva, and I am going into those red shades again. So the same sort of shades that I was building into before. And then just back and forth. Just really get it there. Yeah, and you can see it's kind of blended in very, very easily there, which is nice for me because I'm lazy. Taking the M562 again, and I'm going back into Descent, which is that kind of purpley shimmer. And again, I mean, don't take too much, because this again will go everywhere, and then you will question all of your life choices if you're an Egypt like myself. So just be very gentle with it. And I know I didn't do anything crazy or whatever with this one, and I was like, I don't care. I just want to do something nice looking. So yeah, that'll do, pigs, that'll do. I then took one of the nice little kind of shady brushes that comes from the range, and I went into the shade Phoenix. I had to. It's a multi-chrome. Now, it doesn't really look like much on camera, but in reality, it looks pretty darn cool. So, no, I didn't cut the crease, and you know what? I don't have to. I can do whatever I want. I don't have to justify myself to you. So you can see really nice pigment there. Nothing problematic there at all, which is quite nice. And yes, I know there's a lot more going on the other eye, but I like one step at a time, lads. Like, don't rush me. Stop rushing me. You can see very little problem actually trying to get it on. I haven't had to put any additional base. This is super simple, which we love. We love over here. I am taking this away with a little mini fan brush, and I'm going into the shade Eternal because I can. And I'm just going to pop it over here. And look at that. Isn't that nice? It gives it just a little bit of like, oh look, a setting sun. I wanted to do a sort of a sunlight spotlight, sunset, whatever-ish thing. And this is nice, it works really pretty, like really well. There we go. And then I'm taking a Zoeva 238, and this time I'm going into the shade Smoke, which is this sort of a greenish shade. Trust me, I'm a doctor of psychology. So it doesn't count in this particular instance. But anyways, look, whatever, it's fine. I have a very trustworthy face, if nothing else. So, just popping that on. Again, super pigmented, no major issue here. I like it when I don't have to work too hard on things, because I'm lazy. And I am taking a Sigma E36, and I'm just going between those shades. Actually, what I'm going to do is pick up Smoke and Phoenix on the one brush and just go back and forth. The one brush to rule them all. One to rule them, one to bind them, one to something. I can't remember. It's been a really long time since I watched Lord of the Rings. Don't hate me. Heather's like coming for me, being like, excuse me? What do you mean it's been a long time since you watched Lord of the Rings? Like, do you know what? I will, I'll get to it, okay? We'll get to it. I'm using this Zoeva 225, and I had to try the black. I had to. This is Fallen. Now, this is a really good black. Very pigmented. Not quite up there with, you know, the black from the Meet Me in the Underworld. Pretty darn good. Pretty darn good. But to be fair, that's like gold standard, right? You do not need a lot of this, right? I mean, I took a bare minimum. Like, look, do you see? Okay, and then you just want to be really gentle with it. Like a lover. Or not. Or actually, it depends on you and your sex life. Like, if you're not gentle with your lover, then don't do that. You know? Just back and forth. See? Do you see how much pigment is on that? I took so little of it. So you have to be really careful. And this is the best brush for this. Thank you, Daniela. I love using this brush because it reminds me of Danielle. Is that really sad? I love having like things that remind me of my friends. I'm weird like that. I do love that. It makes me all happy. Then I'm taking this Jessup 237 because, as Heather says, it is life. And I am going into the shade Changes. Feels a bit on the nose, you know, Changes. I'm just popping that there. Yes, you do get a chunk of fallout, but who cares? I always do my base after, so. But do keep that in mind. If that is something that's quite important to you, you're going to be annoyed about that. So, you know, to each their own. Yeah, it's pretty. I like it. It pleases me. That does please me. A little bit more, because, you know, why not? Oh, pretty, pretty, pretty. And then just going to use this Morphe brush, the M562. Or is it a Morphe? Yeah, it is a Morphe. God, thank God. I thought I'd lost my edge there. Not being able to identify brushes. Yeah, I'll take a bit more of that and just pop it there. Yeah. Oh, you're so pretty, she said to the mirror. And in what can only be described as a moment of brilliance or madness, who knows, I then took the shade Unbreakable on my finger. I know I'm disgusting. Oh, going straight to hell. Whatever. And I just popped that on top, right? I know, but just bear with me. And then the next thing I did, because you can mix all of these together, which is kind of fun. I took the shade Dreams on my finger, on my disgusting, gross, grubby finger. But you still love me, don't you? Yeah, you do. That's why you come to this channel. For this gross petri dish of a human being. Well, I hope you've gotten your money's worth, guys. Oh, see, that's nice. Because I wanted to make this look a little bit kind of grungy in a way. And for me, that's kind of doing it in this way. No, it's not grungy like my girl Daniela does it, but you know what? You've got Mammy Teresa today, and this is what you're going to deal with. Taking the M562 again, and we're just doing that. I'm going to take more of that lovely duochrome shade. What was it called again? Dreams. Yeah, dreams, sweet dreams are made of these. Who am I to disagree? A travel world in the seven seas. Everybody is looking for something. Yeah, I don't know. Look, it's like late at night. I've worked all day. It's been a whole thing. Yes, I'm here for it. This has been nice and simple. Now I'm just taking this Morphe brush, and what I'm doing very, very simply is going into the shade Spark, Burn and Unbreakable, because again, with this palette, you can just mix, and that's fine. Mix and match. It's all good. You can do what you like. It's your house. No, this isn't your house. This is my house. But you know what I mean. You're watching in your own house. So, you know, it's a thing. It's the whole thing. And we're just popping it there. I'll pop it over here too. Why not? Let's do the two eyes at the same time. Whee! Yeah. Yeah, that's good. Anyways, what I did next then, which I'm not going to do on camera with you guys, I took this Urban Decay metal liner in the shade Spandex and just went shoop like that. And then, yeah. And then I took this Sheen liner in the shade Peach Puff and just did some little dots. And that's it. That's literally as simple as it is. We're going to come back and I still have to try the lipstick. And we'll come back and see what the whole thing, the whole kit and caboodle looks like together. Okay, I'm back, and in the interim, I did put on the lipstick, which is called Conquer. Yes, damn right, Conquer. Anyways, this is the look. It's very simple, but you know what? That's what I felt like tonight, because it is 11 p.m. and I'm going washing all of this off, which is kind of sad because I quite like this. But I will zoom you in now so you can see what the eyes look like. Look at my eyes, my beautiful, beautiful eyes, and the weird scratch that is unexplained. But yeah, this is it. Very simple, but you can see everything blended very, very easily. Yeah, I mean, it was a simple look, but I like it. So that leads us on to the review section. I'm going to start off first with brushes. They're really nice. Like, I've been kind of playing with these for the last couple of days. There's definitely some like little standouts. You know me, I like a slim little shading brush, and this is very nice. That's what I used to kind of do the pretend cut crease with. It worked really, really nicely. So if you're looking for some brushes and you think that these are sort of shapes that you would like, then yeah, like I think that this is a really nice brush, this one here, for contouring your nose. I personally like to contour my nose because I have a big schnoz, but there you go. The lipstick, it's red. I love it. It's very comfortable. Yeah, brushes, I would say maybe 8 out of 10. I'd prefer a few more like very small detail blender brushes, but that's me, and I like very fine detail brushes. But I know I'm super specific on what I'm looking for. The lipstick, hells yes, 10 out of 10. You got me with a red lipstick, that's all I'm going to say. The palette, okay. Let's have another little look, a revise and resubmit. Right, is this normally? I have to look at this again. I mean, these are just such cool shades. Right. Is this normally a colour story I would go for? No, not really. I'm not very much a warm toned kind of gal. However, this all performs really, really well. Love this mustardy shade like that. Can we just... And this, it's a blue to purple shift. It's fabulous. It all worked really, really well. I tried how many shades? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13. 13 shades out of the 25 tonight, like with this look. I love it. I really do. I'm so happy that I have this. And I mean, I'm not going to talk about the colour story because you know what it looks like. If you like the colour story, then, you know, great. If you don't like the colour story, yeah, it's not going to be for you. However, if you like the colour story and are wondering about the formula, you don't have to wonder. It is really, really good. It blends so easily. I will say it's so highly pigmented that less is more. Like even with the black, you could see I mean, just touch that on. Don't pack it, because you're just going to end up looking like a panda. Same with the orange, like you have to like really just gently, otherwise it's gonna look a little bit manic. But yeah, I mean, I was super happy with this. I think the quality is definitely there. It's a little indie company, so you know that you're actually helping somebody's dreams be realized when you're supporting them. Like I said, Ruks is going out on her own. Like, you know, she's leaving that safety blanket of a job, which I'm like, dude, that is proper brave. So if you like the look of that, I can also happily recommend a lot of her other products, including the Colour Splash palette if you're interested. But yeah, I mean, I think this is a really great palette. I would probably give this a 9.5 out of 10. I'd like an actual, like a deep blue shimmer, not necessarily like a duochrome. I think that would like kind of tie this in a little bit more. I think I would have maybe gotten rid of maybe like this color, you know, a little bit of repetition that wasn't entirely necessary, but still a very good palette. Like I quite enjoy it. That's just me being very pernickety. But that's it. That's the whole kit and caboodle. Do please like, comment and subscribe. Do please share, because sharing is caring, unless of course it's an STD, in which case, you know, wrap it up, don't be gross. But that's it. That's the end of the video, and I will see you guys in the next one. Bye.